Just to taste the nighttime air. Reaching out to touch your skin. Do you feel me shaking? I can't breathe. Fighting for a chance to chase this dream. Waiting on the dark. Waiting in the dark. Nothing can stop us now. Oh baby, we can win this fight.
Oh, fine. I'll stop the countdown early for you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Raiders. Good to see you all. Welcome to Attack on Tuesday. Starting 3 minutes early. GoPro, thank you so much for the resub. Really appreciate that. Great. Nil, thank you so much for the follows. Matt, thank you for the resub. Really appreciate that. Welcome all. And thank you, Al, for the raid as always. Whoa, Leroy, how dare you? This is absolutely not Jonathan Data. Jonathan Scott Data. Son of Karen Data. Absolutely has no place here. We're doing actual web application pen testing here. Sir Data, exactly. No, so Chad is very spicy about Jonathan Data, Jonathan today. Yeah, I mean, it's how it goes. I'll tell you what I mean. I've been talking to Husky a little bit about this. Basically, I'm canonicalizing that his last name is Data. Scott is his middle name, so it's Jonathan S. Data. Vinny, thank you for the cheer. Thank you, friend. Yeah, so what we're actually doing tonight... Man, Mike is hot tonight. What we're actually doing tonight is we are taking a look at the OWASP Vulnerable Web Applications Directory. And this is pursuant to conversation that kind of started happening with Joe Helly, also known as the mayor, and kind of talking about how a lot of the paid training materials online that you can pay for is like actually not awesome, and often is kind of a repackage of stuff that you can get elsewhere. Neo, thank you so much for the follow. Vinny, appreciate that. And Kafka-esque, love it. Hopefully Kafka-esque that you have not transmogrified into a cockroach today or in the recent past. And may that remain true tomorrow. So the OWASP Web Applications Directory, I don't know if everybody knows about this, but it's really cool. OWASP, by the way, I'm a dues-paying member, and I highly recommend if you're interested in application security that you do the same. The Open Web Application Security Project does so much good for the community. Their conference, by the way, is fantastic. I loved it. I love that one of them, AppSec Cali, is actually, down the street from me. How can you say no to a security conference with the killer CTF on the beach? Do your CTF and then go surfing. Actually, I'm just kidding. Don't go in the water in Santa Monica. That is poo water. Don't go in the water in Santa Monica. But the beach is pretty. So anyway, the Open Web Application Security Project is a fantastic organization. I truly support them. But a lot of people don't know that one of the things that they're doing is they are maintaining this this list of free web applications that you can test. And so they've kind of split this up into different kinds of applications. So we have mobile, offline, so VMs that you can download usually, right? And then online. And then there's a VM ISO section as well. I don't really know what the difference is between offline and online. Presumably offline's like the repo and it's up to you to go deploy the server. I think that's probably what it is. And then the straight up VM ISOs. So we're going to take a look at some of these. I'm going to focus on online because easy access, right? But I did start right before stream seeing if maybe, yes, we could play around with Android x86. So I've got, it's like a fly in here. I've got Android running here in Hyper-V, which seems, somewhat heretical, but it's happening. And we can use this to load APKs and do whatever we need to do. I'm pretty excited about this prospect because we'll be able to proxy this actually into Zap on our Kali box, and we'll be able to capture web traffic from the app into OWASP Zap. And I am using Z8 proxy not just because it's a great tool, not just because it's from OWASP, but also because Al hates it. Really, I can't stress enough how important it is that Al hates that I use OWASP Zap. Brins, I can't tell if you're joking about the Notion C2 being confirmed, but you know that's a thing we're working on, right? It actually is a thing that we're working on. Okay, good. Yeah, because that's happening. We'll be about ready to release that. I don't know. I don't want to put a date on it, but it's soon. Zafita, get out of here with your fork bomb. All right, so let's take a look at an application, shall we? Update our plugins here for Zap, and we'll just see what kind of quality we're looking at here. Because again, the idea is to take a look. Thank you so much for the hype train success. That's really cool. What we're hoping to demonstrate is that there are a lot of free options here outside of the normal try hack me stuff that we're used to, outside of the normal hack the box stuff that we're used to, that you can actually take advantage of and start learning web app pen testing. So I have not, this is totally sight unseen. I haven't taken a look at any of these. The only one of these that I really know super well is the OWASP Juice Shop, but we're not going to start there. So just taking a look at what we have here, there's the AccuArt from Acunetics, which is a PHP application. So that's easy days. Might as well check that out. With a gunship track playing, which slaps. So I'm going to open this up in my pen testing profile. And the reason I have that for new viewers is it is configured to connect directly to Zap, and I've got all my fun tools that I want, like the hack tool extension, Wappalizer, all inside of a single profile. That way I don't have to mess with my primary Brave profile. And the reason why I use Brave is because it makes less noise than does Google Chrome. And I find it easier to just kind of work with it. I can use Chromium extensions, but I don't have to deal with all the extra cruft. All right, so we've got testphp.vulnweb.com. I am seeing that traffic come into Zap. Let's include it in a new context. Is Brave really that good? I should say, like off the bat, I don't give a rip about any of the crypto stuff. I actually despise it. So if that loses me viewers, whatever. But what do I mean by noise? When you use Google and you use it through a proxy like this, you're going to see all the extra requests that the browser is making come through the proxy. Now, you can ignore them, but that is how that goes. And so I have to silence less when I use Brave. Everything that Al is saying, by the way, is co-signed. 100% agreed. Yeah, NFTs are a pyramid scheme. They're multi-level marketing. They're no better than Herbalife, except they're actually worse because they're burning the planet. Why do I use Zap? I use Zap for two reasons. One, I actually like the interface better. That might make me sound that might put me in the minority, but I actually really like the interface a lot better. The other reason why I use Zap is because myself, philosophically, as a teacher, I am committed to using, whenever possible, sometimes it isn't, whenever possible, free and open source software, because I want to minimize the barrier to entry for people learning these skills. Burp is cool, but it's also not cheap. It pays for itself, and when I was running my own consultancy, I happily paid for a Burp Pro license. But for teaching purposes, I think Zap works just fine. Burp has a free option, but you know what, Neo? The fuzzer's really slow, and so I don't use it. Okay, so, and here, you're going to get to see how powerful Zap can be. So the first thing we're going to do, now that we've added this to a context, is we're going to spider it. It's a PHP application, so I don't need to worry about AJAX spidering. I don't need to simulate a web server to render JavaScript to get other links. This should work just fine. Let's go ahead and fire this off and see what we find. plenty of links coming in here. We can see them coming in our link tree. Yeah, they do. They artificially slow down the fuzzer so you buy commercial. And again, I'm not against people making money with software. It's just that one of the things that I've found, at least my viewership, is like it's somewhat international. And I know that I have viewers in like places that don't have access to as much technology and certainly don't have as much access financially to software. So if I'm trying to teach these skills to a global audience, I want to minimize that barrier to entry. So open source software wherever possible is kind of a core value of how we do education here on this channel. Oh my god, can someone please screenshot that? Real talk, Al will admit that OWASP Zap is better than Burp Suite free version. That's very big of you, Al. Burp Suite Pro is better than both. It's very powerful. It is. I have nothing against Burp. Okay, so look, we've got artist.php. Looks like we have, we've got lots of cool stuff. Now, one thing that I forgot to do, if we look at our alerts, I forgot to do something kind of cool, which is I'm going to go over to my scripts tab and I'm going to go to my passive rules and I'm going to enable the hunt.py rules. These are tools for bug hunters and bug bounty hunters, and they're going to alert on potential attack vectors. Let me rescan this site and you're going to see new kinds of alerts come in as I do that. These come pre-installed. So those are part of the community scripts from the plugins. So if you enable community scripts from the marketplace, they're right there. You don't have to write any code. You just have to add this plugin, and then they're available. Yeah, and so you just enable hunt.py in the passive rules, and check it out. Now we have possible IDOR, possible SQLI, possible SSRF, and SSTI. Now, these are all just possibles. They're matching on patterns where you generally would find those sorts of things, right? Also, notice that I'm not doing a whole lot of browser-based stuff at this stage, especially for PHP applications. I don't have to, because PHP is going to get read by Zap totally fine. GoPro's linking to Kaido.io, which I feel like I've heard about, but I don't know. Oh, hello. A lightweight web security auditing toolkit built from the ground up in Rust. GoPro, have you just changed my life? Register for the beta. Yeah, okay. Arbrins, how often do you find PHP in new apps? Still constantly. I think that there's like, some of us are too cool for school when it comes to web apps. Like, and I've been there, right? I've done React, I've done Angular, I've done Elm, all sorts of stuff, right? But the truth is, lots of line of business applications that you'll find, especially internally in organizations, but even, new applications that people write and put on the internet, they're going to be written in technology that people know. And guess what? People know PHP. So you absolutely are going to find new applications written in PHP. And by the way, frameworks like Cake and Laravel still absolutely exist, or CodeIgniter, right, still exist. So PHP is not dead by any means. Don't think that it is. That's a mistake. John, yes, absolutely. Zap is free and open source. Oh, this is exciting. Thanks, GoPro. I'll take a look at this. It's funny because one of my next projects was trying to build a lightweight proxy in Rust, because Zap is a little chonky, like all Java applications, and I would like to have a non-chonky option. Okay, so let's see here. Let's look at our possible IDOR. Let's start here. Ooh. New user. I don't really think that's... I thought I saw something else that was an IDOR. So artist equals 2. I just super speed port scanner. Yeah, I mean, we didn't really, we essentially reinvented the wheel with that one, but we did, Husky and I created a screaming fast Rust port scanner for use in offensive Notion. Really bad at web app stuff, but I haven't considered the internal web apps and potential for insecurity by East since it is behind the firewall. All right, look, we're gonna real quick. We're gonna just to prove a point here. We're gonna do a little live recon. Port. Just kidding. Let me log in with my account here. And then we're going to do port 443, Apache, and PHP. All right, we'll let that do its thing. Whatever happened to the NIM port scanner? Honestly, Rust. It's still there. I'm going to get back to it eventually. Basically, we need to fix it so it's not using parallel internet. Instead of sorry, I'm going too quick. Instead of using parallelism, we need to redo it to use concurrency. So yeah, 1.5 million results for PHP on the interwebs right now. So yeah, it's out there. I would still learn how to deal with PHP. John, is Rust worth learning if you already have C programming skills? Yeah, I would say especially if you have C programming skills. Your mind is going to be blown by what you can do with Rust in ways that don't kill yourself with Rust. The memory safety of it is really, really appealing. Destroy Worlds. Welcome. Good to see you. Yes, everybody should jump on the Rust train. We've done a couple of intro to Rust videos. You can check them out on YouTube. I think they're pretty gentle intros. Yeah, just do a search for Rust on the YouTube channel. You'll be able to find it. So, okay, let's take a look back to what we have here. So in the tree, I've got artist, PHP artist. Now, the first thing I see here is that I've got this artist equals 2. And that tells me, like, I want to go visit that, obviously, but I also have a suspicion that maybe there's something I can do with that. So let me go visit that and see what's up. All right, so artist equals 2. If we look at artists, you can see there's like, all right, 3, 2, 1. But are there more? So what we're going to do first is we're going to fuzz this parameter. Just fuzz this up. And we're going to do payloads, numbers, and we'll do 1 to 100. See if there are any secret artists. Okay. And let's start the fuzzer. And I'm going to just sort by response size. So it looks like we had, the payload was 1, 2, 3, looks like not. Oh, the racket. Racket's a hobby, but I alienate people every time when I talk about it, and last Wednesday was no exception. Racket doesn't really bring them in. I don't know if it's time to dump Nim. I think Nim has a place. We found some showstopper bugs in the language that prevented us from moving forward with it for offensive Notion, and then Rust came to the rescue. So I don't want to dunk on Nim at all. Yeah, I know that V is where it's going. I know Marcello's doing V stuff now. Was that the Lisp programming? Yeah, Racket was the Lisp. I think it was actually forked from Scheme, but yes, it is a Lisp. All right, so it looks like artist maybe not be an IDOR, but there may be other issues with it. For example, SQL injection. Ah, good. Okay, so I just tossed a single quote on the end of the number, and I got myself a MySQL error here. So dope. What I'm going to do with that then is I'm going to just take the request, and let me go get the one request. Good. And I'm going to make a, what's this called? AccuArt. I'm going to make a new folder called AccuArt. And save this request. And documents, OWASP, AccuArt, artists. Good lord. Night Ride is killing it tonight. September 87. This song rules. Okay. In your artificial intelligence class, you had to use the actual Lisp programming language. I think it's elegant. I do. I like Lisps. Okay. It's so funny though, like what different professors are gonna make you do. All right, so we're gonna do SQL map with the request artist.raw because we've saved that whole thing, so it doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. That, by the way, that technique is super handy if you have cookies, right, or sessions that you need to maintain. Save the request out, give it to SQL map. We're going to tell it what DBMS it is because we saw the error that it's MySQL. And we're just going to tell it to go to work. This terminal transparency. Essentially, every piece of my workflow is calibrated to drive Al crazy. All right, well, that didn't take long now, did it? It is Tmux, Arbrins, but it's Tmux with customization. Tmux has plugins, and I use them. Yeah. What customization? Hang on. That. You use stock Tmux, Al, but you went through all the trouble of customizing your PowerShell, which I still want to learn more about how you did that, because that was cool. Okay, so obviously this parameter is vulnerable, so we're going to do all tests just in case. Because you want to have more than one way to skin a cat here. Or shave a yak, I should say. Does SQL map ever work? It's working right now. And yes, SQL map works. It definitely does. You have to be careful about how you use it, but if you use it intelligently, it works great. All right, check that out. Okay, so we've got dope. Okay, let's do DBs. Dump. Data. So the database is AccuArt and the table is pictures. It looks like... Okay, so I want to know... Oh, no. No. Okay, so... I'm going to say database AccuArt tables. All right, so look. We've got database AccuArt, we've got tables. This was the first thing we tried, by the way, so thank you very much for AccuArt. Now, I should mention, I have not run an active scan from Zap yet, because I haven't had to, right? And I want to stress to web app pen testers out there, aspiring web app pen testers out there, do not rely on the automatic shotgun attacks from your tools. Use the tools to find likely targets for testing and then test them specifically, precisely. Because you don't want to make too much noise. You don't want to potentially bring down the app. And if you let Zap go hog wild on an application that you're testing, it's going to test everything, and it might create junk data in the database. Like, don't just trust the tool. Yeah, SQL map is great to run in the background if you're manually testing something else, but like, especially if you're doing an internal, which is most of what I do. I do internal AppSec for a lot of my job. Even if you're dealing with a test database, like, the devs might be pretty annoyed if you fill up their database with junk. That's right. Most real SQL injections are Boolean or time-based blind. And I'll also say, like, the kind of stuff that you normally find has a lot to do with the DBMS. So, like, MySQL, you'll find certain kinds of injections. MSSQL, you'll find a totally different set, because the way that people make mistakes in ASP.NET is totally different than the way that people make mistakes in PHP. Okay, so obviously this thing had an SQL injection vulnerability in it, but Zap doesn't know about it. So to do this correctly, we're going to go to our history, go to artist, and create a new alert. Call it SQL injection. And the risk is high, the confidence is confirmed, the parameter is artist, and we can put in other info for our report, like, what are you doing? And it's nice because the report that you can generate from this will give the developer a little bit of information about how they can do better. And you can see we've got that alert in our alerts tree now. Good old missing anti-clickjacking header. This is not a finding. I don't know if anyone's out there still doing clickjacking attacks. All right. Let's go get users. The password's in plain text. Even if a cookie exists, it doesn't mean it's being checked. That's right, fuzz everything. Very funny. Okay, so let's go check out what we've got there. Okay, overkill to open LibreOffice. But okay, so test. Was there a login anywhere? Your cart. Login. Yes. Test. We're in. So that was actually a pre-auth SQL injection. Not bad. Now that we're logged in, I will say, let's take a look at our HTTP sessions. Not tracking it yet. But that's okay. So we did log in, right? Presumably. Post user info. Yeah, okay. So if we want to tell Zap how to log in to test this further, we can do that. Here's how. We're going to open up our context and go to users, add, test. Oh, wait, my bad. The first thing we're going to do is go to authentication, form-based authentication, point it to user info, right? Yep. There it is. Username, password. Cool. And then give users test. Meanwhile, 1XYN, Lonely Only, Antenna, AV, Mr. Wolfew, Gray Fox, Yes, and Top Clean. Thank you so much for the follows. Big welcome to all of you. Okay. We've got a user, and we have a way to authenticate. What that means is now Zap, if we tell it to spider again, it knows how to authenticate with that user by logging in and capturing a session, which is a huge, huge help. Because usually, if you're not logged in correctly, you're gonna get like 302s. You're gonna get redirects that you don't necessarily want. So, making it user aware is very, very handy for exactly that purpose. And we're not doing anything crazy, right? Set cookie login test. Ooh, login equals test. Is it? So this thing is horrifying. But honestly, I've seen about this bad in real life. Test. So like the cookie is storing this. What happens if we change it? Ah, see? It's actually checking the cookie. That's interesting. All right. Now, I have to admit that these days, I didn't want this to be true, but it is true. I've kind of turned into like a cross-site scripting truffle pig. Like I find it in everything, and I'll look for it everywhere. So let's go change our name here. Ooh. You have an error in your SQL syntax. So we broke SQL with our cross-site scripting attack. That's interesting. Okay. Well, cross-site scripting. This one's fun. Because this is just, it's obviously a test. This is not meant to be a challenge. It's not a CTF. It's meant to teach you, web app pen testing. So obviously user info has cross-site scripting available. Hi, and confirmed. Parameter, it was the name, right? Yeah. And there's the cookie. Now, the real trick, of course, is to see if we can capture... For those of you who might be a little bit newer to this, and like, why does cross-site scripting matter? Why does it really matter? It used to be the case that we would like maybe spin up Beef, the browser exploitation framework, and show you like, oh, you can take over the user's browser. With Core's rules, that's like a little bit harder to do these days. But there are still important things that you can do with cross-site scripting. So here are some examples. We're going to turn this one into a button. Maybe. No. We'll try it. Button on click equals document.href. This is probably going to break it. .location equals taggerttech.com. Click me. Button. Yeah. It wasn't going to let me do that. But that's okay. Now this is on the web, so it'll be a little bit trickier. I wonder if this will work. Okay, well, we kind of broke it. So we can break the page and consequently... fix... We can consequently make some changes here. So that's interesting. But one of the most important things that you want to think about with cross-site scripting is, first, can I disclose session secrets? In this case, I can. There isn't really a session, but there's like a login cookie, right? And the HTTP only flag is not set, which means that I could send with JavaScript that cookie someplace else to a listening server or wherever. Then I've got your session. So that doesn't require me to take over your browser. I'm getting your session cookie. So that's part one. Another thing that I think is probably more common is pulling off a trick like this, where once you get JavaScript to execute, you can just simply do something like document.location.href equals, and you can set it to whatever you want. So I can control where your browser is pointing with JavaScript, and not a lot of JavaScript, which means I could point you to a fake login page, right? Try to phish you to get your credentials. That kind of thing is kind of the next pivot from a cross-site scripting attack if you're actually a malicious attacker. So that's something to keep in mind with cross-site. Other than it's just fun to find. I love finding cross-site scripting. It's a fun puzzle, especially given how many different kinds of filters there are out there to try to prevent it, and can you get around them? All right, let's see what else we can find on here. This is kind of an easy mode app. What do you say? Do you want to run the full attack on this thing and just see what happens? Czar, do it. So we're going to do it, but I'm going to show you how to customize your policy. Is there any SSRF? That's a great question. We did have a possible SSRF here. There's no way there's SSTI. It's a PHP application. It did say possible SSRF. There's a search, and the test equals query. Search for zap and go button equals go. I doubted very much that that's SSRF. It's possible, though. Like, the reason I don't think there's SSRF is because this is just, like, open on the web. And it would be insane to me if they let SSRF be part of their public web demo. But then again, they had SQL injection. We didn't try to do OS shell. Now that I think about it. This never works. This never works. Scared Gohan, SSRF is server-side request forgery. So we are addressing the web server from the outside, but depending on how it's interpreting our requests, we may, and what it does to make other network requests for different resources, we may be able to coerce the server into making requests inside its network for us. That is server-side request forgery. Yes, this is Terminator. This is the Terminator terminal emulator. This my terminal of choice. All right, let's fire this off. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our policy and see what's set up here. There's cross-site scripting only. There's the default policy. Let's go to active scan and let's go to. Oh, just kidding. Can I do that? Yeah, I can do, nope. Come on. That was a good question. It was, what is the difference between a terminal emulator and a terminal multiplexer? A terminal emulator is the top layer. where that's what gives me the actual single terminal session, right? The terminal multiplexer like tmux is what can split that single terminal window into multiple windows and manage my session. That's the difference there. So our default policy, let's modify it, where we have client browser, cross-site scripting, fine, information gathering. I'm going to turn this off. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to leave all this on. Log for shell. Log for shell is not going to work, so I'm going to turn that off. So action spoofing. Fine. All right, let's go. Active scan. Do it. And we can watch, obviously this is the progress here, but we can watch in more detail if we look at this right here, which is each attack type going through. And if it finds anything, we'll know. While that's going, I am deeply curious about what we could do with the Android apps. I have no idea what's about to happen here. Connect to Wi-Fi. I mean, it's technically connected to a network. It's just not connected to Wi-Fi. That's the wrong direction. There we go. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you. This feels wrong. No. No. By the way, this is the Android x86 project. Connect to Open Wi-Fi Network Vert Wi-Fi. Yeah, let's go. Connect to that Vert Wi-Fi. I don't even know why that's there. Killer, I'm glad you like it. Give it time, though. It'll eat plenty of RAM. Connected to Open Wi-Fi Network. That's insane. Okay, so we're connected to Wi-Fi, in theory. That's awesome. And there's Chrome. And do I have a file browser on here? I do. Fantastic. So watch this. We're going to be able to sideload this APK. Oof, old school Chrome. What the? Yeah, fine. I'm not signing in. Yeah. Damn vulnerable bank. I'll take it. Is there a releases? There is indeed. Yeah, I'll give you storage access. Yeah, go for it. Yes, save this APK. I don't care what I'm doing. Here it come. Oof. Oh, I was gonna say, like, yikes. And for security, we're gonna change that up. Yep. Allow from this source. Okay. Install. Fun. How we doing, Zap? 5 crits. All right, let's close this up and see what we found so far. Found plenty of cross-site scripting, which we kind of already knew was going to be there, right? We found it with user info. It found it too. Fantastic. It found reflected cross-site scripting in show image. Oh, ho, 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 ho. There's a file. I don't think this is correct, but I think it found something else for us. No? Maybe? If we've used source. You got something for me? You can't just accept the oh, that actually looks okay. What is this? Parameter pollution. Oh, it's just like there. That's very funny. So for parameter pollution, this is actually kind of cool. You can see link is like pp equals 12. What if we did... something like that. Oh, I've got to put a quote on there. Pretty sure. Yeah, there it is. So with that quote, then we're able to do some cool stuff like script source equal script alert XSS confirmed. And oh, come on. Oh, what did I forget to do? I forgot to close the A tag. There we go. And that's what you would take a screenshot of and put in your report. I love the reflecteds because you can get the pop-up and the evidence right here in a single grab. Put that in your report. All right, cool. So obviously parameter pollution, that's legit. Guest book. This is stored. Where was the A tag? Okay, great question. So let's slow down. Let's break this down for a second. So if we take a look at the parameter pollution, let's take a look at just like test and see what happens. And we're going to look at this in the inspector as well. So you can see here that I've got an A tag, which is link 1. It says valid npp equals test, right? So if the PHP, which I assume it is, yeah, Dreamweaver. Whoa, Dreamweaver. I'm in high school. If the PHP is constructing this out of this get parameter and just kind of like doing a string concatenation, cool. Because then what we'll do is we'll say, okay, well then if you're going to take my input, you're going to take a quote. And what does the quote do? The quote ends this href attribute. That's what that does. So that ends that. And then we're going to say, okay, now you're done with that. You're done with the A tag. So I've closed the link. Anything after that now, I'm just writing directly to the document. So I can do whatever I want at this point. If I put an H1 in here, I'll see a giant H1 that says test. Just like so. And since there apparently is no filter whatsoever as to what tags I can contribute to this, I can do whatever I want, including just raw script tags. And so this is, reflected cross-site scripting and DOM-based cross-site scripting, because it's whatever we give in the get parameter gets reflected here, and it's DOM-based. So, ooh, we got a new one. So we've got an authentication bypass. It's interesting. So it turns out we could have done an and 1 equals 1 or 1 equals 1 to get in for that. It looks like we've got other SQL injection as well on artists, which we already found. So we're doing about as well as Zap did. There was an HT access information link. This is why you do check everything. Application error disclosure. Yeah, of course. And then cookie no HTTP only flag. By the way, Zap Gang, by default, the cookie no HTTP only flag is listed as a low. But I'm going to make this recommendation for you. If you find in your testing, if you find cross-site scripting as well as the no HTTP only flag, go ahead and modify that. Go ahead and change this up and turn it into a high or a medium. Because the 1-2 punch of cross-site scripting plus no HTTP only, especially on a session cookie, that's a big deal. And you don't want to downplay the risk of that inside of your report. So obviously the Zap report isn't the only artifact from a proper pen test, but it's a great component of it. Yeah, CSurf plus no HTTP is a high vuln for sure. Oh, XSS, yeah, okay. I would say so. Now, if it's not a session cookie, you can have that conversation. But also, just like, if you don't need JavaScript to interact with it, just have the developers put HTTP only on it. Arbrins, I'm going to be here for another hour. We've been flying tonight. If the CSurf allows password resets, transaction requests. Yeah, let's see if we can get a CSurf actually on this one. Because I haven't seen a CSurf token once. That could be fun to do. Yeah, we'll write a CSurf on this and see what we can do with that. To show you how that would work, we'll use the user info. Yeah. Like that. So what CSurf or XSRF, what Al is referring to is another type of vulnerability called cross-site request forgery. And this type of attack is really, really scary in the following ways. Let's say that you had a profile like this where you logged in and you could reset your password, you make changes, and then your session token survives for some amount of time. Now, let's say then further that I send you a phishing email that has inside of it a link to a redirect to like an auto submit form or something else like that, that sends data to the same form submission endpoint that you were using when you were logged in. If you still have an active session and there is no cross-site request forgery protection on that site, I am able to use your own site against you. If you have cross-site scripting, but there's HTTP only on an app that uses OAuth, you could potentially use XSS to redirect and snag OAuth tokens. Yes, sometimes that is true. It depends on the OAuth flow and if they're doing it correctly, basically. If they're sending all the redirect in GET without any check or like security tokens, yes, there is a way to do that. It is not awesome. But, okay, so, yeah, let's play with some cross-site request forgery. So I'm going to try to change, because I was changing the person's name. Yeah, let's do it this way. So to make this happen, probably the easiest way to do it is to just go to your profile. And like straight up copy the form. Yep. I need less CSS and more HTML, please. Thank you very much. Yep, I'll take it. Okay. So we're going to just form.html, and we'll go ahead and post that. But what we are going to do is say the action equals instead of nothing. We're going to send it to right here. Yeah, I think that'll do it. So let's fire up a little HTTP server. Go to localhost 8000. Okay. Let's just add some exclamation points here to prove the point. See what happens. And let's see. What did I forget to do? That should have worked. Well, the session is already active in test PHP vuln web, right? So the whole point is that I don't have to set the session, because the login for this is the way that cookies are scoped is they're scoped for the domain, right? So, or in this case, it's like for testphp.vulnweb.com. I can't myself from this form, from the form I just had, I can't myself set that cookie, right? But it's already set. But let's see if there was anything else in the request. Just log in. So it is sent with the post request. But let's actually try it. So let me fire it up in Zap. Oh, God. Taggart, you idiot. That's why, because it was in a different profile. No? Let's see what happened there. So post So it... Oh. So localhost stuff is actually bypassing the proxy, so I can't actually see the traffic. That's annoying. All right, I won't lose sleep over it. Look at the 9 alerts we have. So most of them are cross-site scripting of one flavor or another, which we kind of already knew. And then many kinds of SQL injection, which we also knew. And then authentication bypass. So pretty gnarly. There's one thing I actually haven't shown on stream, which I'm going to show, which is the reporting capabilities of this. Watch this. So we're going to do generate report. And we'll call it AccuArt. And it shouldn't be there. It should be in here. And then I usually do like a prepared by. Template. Let's not use the hacky one. Let's do Ocean. Love it. Let's generate the report. What? What? Let me save the session first. One more time. Zap, what are you doing? You're embarrassing me. All right, we're going to kill Zap and bring it back up. This happens to me sometimes, that the report generator, for whatever reason, I need to like reopen the session and then it should work okay. Worth seeing though. Meanwhile, no, we're definitely not turning on Play Protect. This thing's still installing? Okay, cool. Before we open it, watch this. We're gonna go to our settings. I have no idea what version of Android this is. Nothing? It should be in our network. Wi-Fi preferences. I know there's a way to do this. There's a way to set a proxy in Android. Maybe we have to do this thing. Everybody knows about the developer mode in Android, right? If we don't, if you want to turn on developer mode in Android, you go to the About Your Device and then go to Build Number. And you tap it a bunch of times and eventually it'll tell you that you're in debug mode, or you're in developer mode. Like with developer options. I gotta be careful with my data usage. Why is there even a, like, scale there? All right, I'll have to think about how to do this, how to make a proxy for Android stuff. Okay, let's reopen the AccuArt session and see if we can get that report generated. There we go. See? I don't know why it's like that. But kind of a nice report, honestly, where you go through, it tells you about the vulnerabilities. If you click down, it'll show you all the evidence if you want to. I remove this sometimes from my reports because I don't want them to see all of my parameters. But there you go. Reporting from Zap. Free tool. All right, let's go check another. Let's try another site on this list. Obviously, AccuArt is kind of older school. Let's try like a new, more modern application. Online. What else do we have? React, Node, and Swagger. Tell me more. Broken crystals. The full API. Oh, but this is incorrectly categorized. That should not be categorized as an online. That should be a VMISO. Cyber scavenger hunt. Has anyone done this? And damn vulnerable serverless app. That's interesting too. Oh no, there we go. I'm sorry. I just didn't click on the right thing. Let's look at the live version of Broken Crystals. Love it. Okay, so we're gonna open this in... I guess it's that kind of crystal. All right. Go ahead and include this in a new context. Good lord. Look at all the calls that already made. Welcome to modern web applications. All right. So the trick with this is if we do like let's look at Wappalizer real quick. Owl. Okay, so it's React. And if it's React the way that I expect it to be, yeah, there's not going to be much. If we try to run a spider on this, I mean, we'll do it. If we try to run a spider on this, it's not going to find much. Static stuff only. And the API, which we saw. Okay. Interesting. Metadata. Yep. We got S3 buckets. We've got... Wait, did I did hit spider, right? Yeah. So got some API stuff that it's doing for us. Interesting. So this is kind of the deal with modern web applications, is that generally speaking, I mean, sometimes you can find a vulnerability in the framework itself, but generally speaking, you're not going to find cross-site scripting in React. Okay? Unless you're S tier and super lucky. This thing has been battle hardened. But what you might find are vulnerabilities in the API that the application uses in the backend. So the way that you target this thing is a little bit different, and the way that you work with it is a little bit different. You end up working a lot more in Zap and honestly the command line than you do in the browser, because the browser isn't showing you much. Like so. authcontroller.js. Yeah. What? This is insane. Okay, so these are the things that we found so far. Now, the next thing we can do, there's sign in, two-step sign in. That's interesting. The next thing we can do is we can run the Ajax spider. And this will, in fact, use a simulated browser to render JavaScript and look for links. So we'll give that a shot. This takes a while. So let's see what happens when we access a single gemstone. Okay, these are dead. Marketplace is not, though. Where does that take us? Authentication. If you're looking for an authentication protected endpoint, try using Broken Crystal /API products. Interesting. What does the auth look like? User not found. Dist auth controller.js. Now, can we see that file? Always worth checking our sources. Source, index.js, no, modules. Browser router, hash router. Okay. Sorry if you can hear the wind whipping stuff up. Oh, hey, node modules. What do you mean, killer? By two verbose error reporting. TypeScript. I'm just noticing. Hey, look. Here are all the API URLs. So products, latest, users, auth, API metadata. Yeah, go to API render. I don't know what you mean by the paths of the file. I'm sorry. You're going to have to be more more explicit. LDAP. Interesting. Oh, the var dub HTML. I see what you're saying. You mean this is a finding? Yeah, maybe. It's certainly information disclosure. Vulnerable JS library. Not really. Look at all the options we have. Simple REST-based authentication, simple HTML form-based authentication. Just because they're using a modern front end doesn't mean they're not using a database in the back end. Although in this case, okay. We've got some base 64 encoded data here. It almost looks like a JavaScript web token, but not entirely. I'm going to get the first part of this and just see what's up. Nah, that's serialized data. Unhelpful. Okay. Let's sign up for an account. Why not, right? All right. We have an account. Let's see what that flow looked like. So 201 created. There's an API to create users. Okay. It doesn't look like it's, being created with any particular permissions here or anything, so that's fine. That was wild. Did you see that? Oh, they give us a edit data. Can't hurt. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty rare that you're going to find that working. And when you see quotes like this, what you're looking at is the difference between a text node and an HTML element in the DOM. So if you have your test text inside of quotes like this, you're kind of done when it comes to cross-site scripting, because your text is not getting rendered as like raw HTML. It's getting rendered as a text node that is being appropriately attached to the DOM, and text nodes are not evaluated for potential HTML elements inside of them. It's just all going to be text. What? That looked like XXE. Post metadata. Then console.log XML data. Use effect, post metadata. Then console.log XML data. No way. Entity child system file Etsy password child. Yeah, okay, but what? This metadata is crazy. Cannot get API metadata. All right, we need to know more about how that works. What? There's a command in the... Why in the world would that be true? What? Okay, hold on. Yeah. Like, real easy RCE. Why do I not have ngrok installed here? All right, hold please. That's crazy. I just didn't feel like dealing with tar commands. What? Oh. Okay. Now... I'm gonna have to quickly move this over for just a second while I do the auth. Okay. Now, Let's see. 9999. Good lord. We've got the midnight plan. This is like the greatest night ride's ever had. Okay. I can't believe there's just an RCE API endpoint, but we're going to take advantage of it. All right, what kind of a thing are we? AWS Linux. So this is by IP address. What we got in there? Haha. Thank you very much for the database password. Oh my god, thank you for the JWT keys as well. Why would you have this? Actually, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna try this. Okay, so what we've got is we've got ngrok forwarding traffic into our own host here, which should be picking it up on 9999. Yes, indeed. So I'm going to set up Meterpreter to also, or I'm going to set up Metasploit to also listen here. And what we're going to do is use exploit multi-handler. And we're going to set payload Linux x64 interpreter reverse. The netcat reverse shell isn't fancy enough. I want to try to do it this way. Set lhost. Now this is going to be interesting because even though I've set the lhost to this, it'll bind to everything because that's not a thing, right? So set lport to 9999. Now I can't run this. I said lpot, not lport. Now I can't run this yet because right now Python is using it, and there's a reason for that. The first thing I'm going to try... Let me go back to the LSAL. Do I have... Because I know I'm Node. Do I have read-write in here? I do not. Do I have read-write to temp? I do. Delightful. Okay. Then what we're going to try for here, let's just go back over to our OWASP window, is we're going to try for an interesting pivot where we're going to curl MT to temp MT. Yeah. All right, well, that worked. Maybe. So we got on temp. All right, that didn't work. So we're going to try with wget. Now, I haven't gotten a response yet here, but that might be okay. I did not specify a file. Oh, you're correct. I did not. Thank you, Pawn Muncher. I have a feeling it's still going to time out on me, though. Yeah. Any cars I need to escape or encode? Nope. Although that's too small. There's no way that's it. 442 bytes? That's way too small. Honest question, can we do a Can we do a netcat with a domain name? Yeah, of course we can. Of course we can. Okay, we're gonna have to fix that. That didn't play. Alright, we'll try the bash version. There's another way we might be able to do this, but... yeah. Let's see what else we have in here. Nest CLI.json. It's interesting. Then there's config. Keys. Okay. We've got private keys, public keys, JSON Web Token keys. Hey, Warplays. We are taking a look at some of the apps that are listed on the OWASP OWASP Vulnerable Web Applications directory. And we are playing with broken crystals right now. And it turns out that we have gotten remote code execution on the thing. Maybe I can read a user's SSH. I mean, worth a shot. There is only one user, which is Node. I mean, presumably we're in a Docker file or a Docker container. Let's see. Yeah, we're in a Docker container. That's how you know. Docker env inside of the root. Oh, Docker escape? I don't think so. So here's the thing, Al. I can't. I'm real bad at Twitch. Is the truth. And I'm probably not going to get any better at it, to be honest with you. I have the stream rewards that I have. All right. God, I mean, what else can we do here? I'm fine doing less numbers and not having to do all that. All right. Oh, cool. This is actually neat. So check this out. We have this Swagger file. We're gonna save this in Broken Crystals. What the? Well, 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 if it isn't Husky Hacks himself. How you doing, friend? Call it API.json. Okay, this is a... Not too bad. We're playing around with OWASP web apps. And we're going to import... check this out. We're going to import an open API definition from a local file system. And let's go to Broken Crystals, API.json. The target URL is going to be brokencrystals.com. And that will populate the rest of the API that we haven't hit yet. You can kind of see that it has all of that there. Am I using a VPS? No. This is just straight up on Hyper-V. So, wow, there's so many things here. Obviously, God, that's a lot. Okay. So, Gar, I'm gonna tell you that my API testing usually starts with Postman. So what I'll do if I'm working with API developers that have this available to me, I will, if it's an internal test, I will ask them for the Postman collection, especially if they have like unique headers or something else like that that I need to use to test. I will ask them for the Postman collection. I will proxy Postman through Zap. And then once I have all that data loaded into Zap, I will fuzz it as needed. That is kind of my API testing methodology. And if they have the Swagger file, cool, but often they don't. What they'll often have is the Postman collection, which works just fine for me too. So we can post testimonials. That's interesting. Except we were unauthorized before, but now maybe we're not. Is this the GUI? It is. I can upload files. It's interesting. The marketplace appears broken. It's just images. My next course will be an acting class on Commedia dell'arte. Husky Hacks, a literal Renaissance man. There are no testimonials. So obviously we are now authorized. Gar, thank you for this follow. Man, I mean, we kind of took this one to We took this one out behind the woodshed here because we got RCE with the spawn. Like, why was that even there? And then from there, we were able to see JSON Web Token keys. Yeah, they had a spawn command in here, which, why? Want that APT40 web shell? It's JavaScript. I do want a web shell. I want to get a shell off this, but it's being persnickety. I have ngrok actually running on this. Dude, this is open on the web. So... Oh, I just had a really stupid idea. Let me try something. I want to see if this works. Because, yeah, it'll time out. Sure, whatever. But now let's ls temp. All right, there's test. 687 bytes. Google's probably bigger than that, but let's cat it anyway. Oh, it says cannot write to index.html. Permission denied. Well, let's hold on a second. Fine, be that way. Home node. Okay. I can write to this. I bet that was the problem in the first place. All right, we're gonna try this one more time. So we're gonna copy our ngrok here. Frankly, I'm shocked no one has tried to hit this while I'm on stream. Ooh, it did not like that. Oh, because I forgot the word wget. Probably would have helped. There we go. Hey, Donut. Now, again, this is still timing out, but that might be because... wget be like that. Nope, that's too small. You take us forward, we would never sabotage you. Hmm.
Dead.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Give realization that you have to be subscribed to, definitely. I mean, I'm sorry? Oh, because you use the Ferris more than your own emotes. But you have so many good ones. So it looks like we have a write problem here. Because what does it say here? If I do cat home node mt, what does it say? Oh, HTTP request sent or waiting response. That's interesting. So the problem isn't... Man, whatever. Hold on a second. I'm hosting this on Notion. I'm just gonna put the payload on Notion and call it a day. I have to be in my...
Power lines all running wild through me in the light of a digital dream. Couldn't help how I felt so
Nice.
till I found you.
All right, watch this. We're gonna upload. This is the Husky Hacks trick. This is what started us on this this journey with Notion. OWASP, broken crystals. All right, take it. Yeah, mt.txt indeed. I bet they didn't. Okay, so Zap, what did you just show me? Nope, thank you. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so the reason we want that is because we're gonna wget that whole thing, and we're gonna say home node t. Scheme missing. Oh, hold on a second. I might have to double quote it. So what I just did is I'm using Notion to host the file. So Notion, the online note-taking app, right? It turns out that when you click on, like, when you upload a file and then you click on the file to, like, get the original, it works with the images too. What happens is it generates a 24-hour shared access link to the S3 resource that Notion is using in the back end to get at the thing. And that's what we just got. You can see this, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to download from there rather than trying to use ngrok and be cute about it. Scheme missing. What did I do wrong? Did I copy it wrong? Okay, that totally works. So, I'll try that again. And we're actually going to do curl. I realized something important that we would have to do if we're going to use curl, which is follow redirects. Protocol HTTPS not supported. What is happening? scheme missing. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, the Flet. I seem to remember... Yep. There it is. Okay, I thought that was going to be it for sure. It's going okay. We're getting, I'm getting a little annoyed with trying to download something to this website. And I'll try it without quotes. We'll see what happens. I don't think that's going to go super well, but... That did look better, although, Gar, you might be right about the ampersands. Let's find out. $653 bytes. Better, but... yeah. Alright, fine. I know that I could just do this in JavaScript, but I didn't feel like it. There is no way that's going to work. Name is too long. Hey, Zar. So basically, we found RCE on this website that is, we're allowed to test it. This broken crystals page, geez, there it is, which is designed for us to test. But I am having the hardest time downloading files to it. Insanely, that looks better. We already tried a Netcat Pond Muncher. It's not gonna play ball. Oh, of course. That doesn't return any output, so we're not going to see anything come up. But it still works. Now, if we fire up our Meterpreter console, okay, we're on port 9999, and ngrok, oops, nope, I'm in the wrong window. There we go. ngrok is forwarding to 9999, and we set up the L host correctly for this, I think, when we did the MSF Venom. So, this should work? No. Oh, no, I did the wrong path. The not found, trying, not found. Oh, so turns out it's just garbage. Permission denied. It turns out we don't actually have write permission on this thing, so it is like, it's pretty clever about that. All right. Yeah, even in temp. I want to see if it's there. It ain't there. I mean, we've got node. We've got node. Why am I being so stupid? So I can't write to this. I can't write anywhere, right? If we get a shell in the next 30 minutes, you're gifting 5 subs. All right. Boy, that didn't work. All right, let's try to live off the land here. What do we have? Okay, so I own these folders. Hold on. I own these folders. I think my ngrok was working okay, now that I think about it. I think the problem was the write. I wonder, I've got to have write somewhere. Okay. Can node do reverse shell? Yes, it can, but damn. So node owns this and can write to it, and I'm node. Why can't I write to this? We made a file. Okay. So maybe I can write to the config folder. So I'm going to try. my ngrok again. I really want this to work. We're ngrok, and then we'll do wget here /mt o config mt. Okay. Now we're getting a timeout for the output, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, now let's do an lsal config. Nah. MT's the wrong size. If we cat that, we're going to find that it says, like, permission denied. Or, wow. Why did I do that? Can we do a simple bash loop pipe to NC? Yeah, cannot write to MT, permission denied. I think... What is it? Is it xadder? SoCat's not there. Nope, no xadder. Okay. I want to see what the capabilities are on this. I bet it's lost right. What? No get cap? Alright, I'm reading this. This might tell us what's going on. Ooh, it doesn't let me do that at all. What the hell? No Docker read only. Like, what's going on here? Well, yeah, that's probably what's up. All right. Do I have Python? Because if so... Oh my. All right. Well then. Okay. I'm not trying to have it download a Node.js reverse shell SAR. I'm trying to have it download any kind of reverse shell. In this case, it was actually an interpreter forwarded through ngrok. You could have Node.js read from dev standard in, and then pipe a wget to it. Pipe a wget to it. Interesting. I don't hate that idea. Hold on. Do I? I don't have Node installed on here. That's wild to me. Or just get some file.sh. Why wouldn't that work? Yeah, Tsar. That's a really damn good question. That would absolutely work. Well, actually, I don't know that it wouldn't, but... Because we're W getting just fine. Yeah, good call. I like that. So this is wrong. We gotta change this to 443. Because netcat didn't appear to be there, but we do have bash, I think, right? Yep. Cool. I like that. I like that plan a lot. All right, so we got to change this up. Oh, that's too far back. It's the same... It's the same... It won't... I don't think that'll matter. Maybe it will, though. It's a good point. This sucks. So, I would need a separate listener, now that I think about it. Fine. Oh, good. I can't use it twice in one place. So my problem is that I can't... Oh, but I can host it someplace else, right? Yeah, I can host it someplace else. So that's easy enough. I mean, you jest, but it's not the worst idea. But I'm already putting stuff on Notion, so... Does not care about the .sh at all. Okay. Now, we had trouble with this before, but we're going to try it anyway. I'm working smarter, not harder this time. Oh, is it lowercase o for follow redirects? Oh, dang it. Should have been a TCP forward. Did the rev shell connect to 9999 or 4443 or 443? It should be 443. Because the... Oh, crap. But now I changed it up. Okay, hang on. Can somebody please ban the bot? Thanks, Sar. Okay. Right. Yeah, we got to change that up. So that's going to listen on 19225. And this is the address. Hey, Giovanni. Good to see you, bud. Giovanni's one of my first students from when I started doing like live streaming back in the day. Okay. I mean, I kind of want to see if it works at all. Like, let me try it locally.
You're coming with us.
So, according to this, I'm getting garbage. I might host it on GitHub. Alright. Let's try it this way. So that didn't error out, but it also didn't do anything for me. I'm not seeing any hits on this, right? Even with... Wait. Oh, okay, I guess it does work. Okay. So that was curl dash capital L. Bash. Let's get the listener up again. Come on! Wait, did I not send it? I did. I got it right back. Try connecting to the listener with echo something. Verify the outbound is connect. Yeah. Well. Hold on. IP tables in play for outbound. Possible. Giovanni, thank you so much for the subscription. Why is HTTP in that form? I'm not sure what you mean, Marzuk. If you mean the web interface, this is just like this is the console for my ngrok connection. Yeah. That didn't work out at all. Okay. All right, we're down, but we're not out just yet. Because we have Python. Where's my snaky boy? There it is. Now, all right, that is a one-liner. Except we're going to change this up. And it's 19225, right? And I'm going to try it again on my local machine just to make sure this thing works. Hold on a second. So I gotta get it to the other clipboard. There we go. Are you kidding me? This terminal, like, died. Different. All right. Well. Okay, whatever I'm pasting is myrtleizing this thing. I've just killed 2 different Windows terminal shells. That's interesting. Okay, whatever. We're gonna try this here. We'll see what happens. End of line while scanning string literal. Import socket subprocess OS. Where is the end of line? File string line 1 import. End of line while scanning string literal. Because it's URL encoded, maybe? Can you do the same thing? I guess. It would be weird, but can I do like echo? Nope. Nope. That's idiotic. Python. Let's see, read from standing. No, I gotta think about this. Pipe command. This is a hard thing to search for. Because, like, obviously reading from standard into something a programming language can do. Oh. All right. I guess that's how we're going to do it then. So I'm going to edit this here. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now we're going to try to curl and got the netcat listener going. Is this thing still busted? Yeah, it is. Let me just make sure this works this way. Invalid syntax. Oh, wait a minute. It is invalid syntax. I feel like we're close, friends. I would very much like to get this. Okay, well, that obviously worked. Because we've got Python doing its thing. Now, all I need to do is get that working here. What are you talking about, Mr. Wolf? No Python after pipe? It's right there. I really don't think that it's a syntax error. Python 3 is there. We just confirmed it was there. I think it might have an outbound that's only 443. You tried this and it worked. Yeah, no, like this. Which netcat? Yeah, that ain't there. So we don't have netcat as a thing, and we can't write anywhere. This is a very constrained environment. Hold on. No, let's just cross-site scripting. require child process exactly bash bar client equals new net socket. Yeah. If we seriously can't write anywhere, it's oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Dang it. Hang on a second. Look. Yeah, look. If we actually can't write anywhere, no shell is going to work. Why? No reverse shell like this is going to work. A fully read-only system means you can't make sockets. So I think we might be hosed on this one. Nevertheless, let's think about what we were able to do even with this pretty hacky interface. There we go. So we got out of the env. Sar, can you echoing to dev DCP and see if anything shows up in the listener? Sure. Nope. But what we did do, like I said, we saw the database password. That's kind of interesting, and you know, so we can also see, like, we didn't even look in the source. There's controllers. There's auth. There's no way to PwnKit this. Unfortunately, no, because you definitely have to write for PwnKit. But we do see quite a bit of information here. And in fact, let's look at what we had in config. So there was keys. We were able to write this and this. Like, we were able to write empty files, basically. And then in products, what is in products? Config/products. Marking's not following. Crystals. Okay. Hey, is it bothering anybody else that I was able to touch a file? I was able to make this. Thank you. That's right, Tsar. Create is a different perm than write. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Yeah, because I tried echoing into it and it didn't, like... Yeah, test has no bytes. It is abstracted away. I'm pretty sure that because the inode, the user doesn't make the inode, right? That's kernel level. And the kernel can do whatever the hell it wants. It's the user of the container that doesn't get to do stuff. All right. Well, friends, I think we're going to call it a night here. This has been a lot of fun. Tomorrow night, you won't want to miss it. Husky and I are going to go into dynamic invoke in C# and maybe some other languages to learn how to abstract away your Windows API calls so that you do not have to, for example, put a hard-coded reference to create remote thread inside your injection payload. So pretty cool stuff. Hey, Gar, thank you so much for the 5-tier subs, even though we weren't able to get the shell. Really appreciate that. Marzuk, thank you so much. I'm glad that you found us as well. So, for those of you who are new to the stream, we do Tuesdays, 5 p.m. Pacific. We do Red Team stuff on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Pacific, we do programming of all sorts. And Saturdays, 10 a.m. Pacific, we do Blue Team. And right now, we're putting together our home lab. So, we've got our own server, and we're putting it together piece by piece. So those are our that's the schedule. It's pretty much rock solid. So thanks so much. Let's see if there's anybody streaming here that we can raid. And if you don't know about the hack list, you absolutely should. Oh, yes, good. The Guar is streaming. If you don't know about the hack list, now you do. We are Legion. We InfoSec streamers. And right now, we are going to raid the Guar because the Guar is a friend of mine. All right, so, friends, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you learned something and had fun. I know I did. Until next time, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and happy hacking.